Let's call the meeting to order at 6:30. Thank you for everyone attending. We're missing Duncan Burns right now. He's the only member missing right now, so hopefully he comes in, but at the moment, we're gonna have to, postpone the, approving the meeting minutes of June 12th and May 22nd, for various reasons and members that are either absent or were absent or absent now. We don't have a quorum on these, so we're gonna have to table these. And so the next meeting, which is July 24th, someone can make a motion to approve tabling the approval of meeting minutes for May 22nd and June 12th. Someone second that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So continue to the 24th. Next on the agenda, there's nothing for notice for 10 enforcement orders, emergency start. Next is the extension of water conditions, the elementary school wetlands replication, discuss replication plan, revised plan for the parking extension. How you guys doing? These are both future names. And for the record, you can sign them if you haven't already. Names are already here.
Ingeborg, du passar med.
Thank you. So I can kind of give a brief update on the wetlands replication, and then we can kind of get into a little bit of the parking extension.
My understanding with the wetlands replication, it's planting season is between August 15th and sometime in October. I can't remember the exact dates. The contractor plans on redoing and reseeding the wetlands replication area during that time. It was confirmed the trees and shrubs that were planted were satisfied any of the plants.
Yeah.
So we were getting that, so really just the reseeding.
Okay. And do we have the approved submittal for what they plan on reseeding and everything that's all been approved?
It's already been approved, it's already for core. We can send separate submittals if you guys would like.
Oh, look them up. Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's discussion on what type of, maintenance was done in the replication area, and I got access into the Procore site. Just for instance, on 6/16/2022, in the meeting minutes from Boston, it clearly states right in there, under recommendations and suggestions, item number 1, wetlands planting shall be monitored and watered to ensure viability. And that's not the only time that came up in their notes. So
Yeah.
for Carlton O'Neill, they did what we hired them to do.
And also back in September of 2022, we issued a manual to the contractor. It got part one.
Yeah.
It's not growing, we needed to reseed it.
Yeah.
And we've sent subsequent memos after that.
Okay. So I think at this point, we need to get a date of when they're gonna plant, or maybe a window of time they wanna plant, even if it's a 2-week window. So we can go up there and make sure that the air is prepped before they seed, and then maybe another quick drive through when they do seed it, to make sure it's seeded properly, and what they plan on doing this time around to protect the seed, and how they maintain watering it.
And what would prepping entail?
They probably have to scratch it up again. I mean, you guys would know more, but I mean, right? I mean, they'd have to clean it all up again, get all the weeds back out of there and start over. Right?
Might have to remold my ridge still.
Yeah, it's because topsoil washed away.
Have to really take a look at it before we could say,
Yeah, so they'd have to probably tell us what they plan on doing
Yeah.
in preparation, and when they're done, we could take a ride through. And then when they see it, I would assume depending on what time of year, they'd have to do something to protect it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, my question would be, they didn't water it last time, how do we ensure they water it this time more than once?
Yeah, so we did get the maintenance log or the O&M manuals,
Yeah,
but the log was really more just like a SWIP report. It wasn't like
right.
whoever owns that maintenance manual in that process. They won't, that won't come into play until the contractor has received a certificate of approval or some type of notification from the town or the city of Gardner saying, yeah, we accept the seed has taken and everything's held, and then the school would take over watering it. It hasn't happened yet, and that's where the breakdown is
Yeah,
going to be.
Yeah.
Is that right? We need to agree with that. He's not gonna water it, because if he does it,
Oh, I
the
agree.
contractor's gonna come right back, you flooded it, or you
Yeah, I
did.
know. I'm saying, how do you ensure the contractor waters it?
No, I mean, that's, the documentation and the reports are in play.
Yeah.
They just, whoever's like this here, it says, make sure they do it. I don't know who on the city side or the project side, I guess,
Okay.
would say, hey, this needs to be done. In my mind, I'm not sure.
Would be the ones to say they accept the grass, the wetlands, the wetness in that area. They'll probably say 80% of the grass has not been accepted, right?
Well, yeah,
They gave you all those drawings, but I didn't have to open them up, but
no, I got through, I couldn't get in for some reason, but everything you sent was super pro anyways.
yes.
So all the reports are there,
Yeah, so, yeah.
even more than I have access to all of them. They're in there, everybody in the city side has done what they need to do. It's the project person that's responsible for that segment of it, so.
And yeah, I can add too, I mean, if it happens again with the wetlands, even if it doesn't take, it's on the contractor to come back and do it again. They have it in their warranty.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess what we'll ask for is when they're gonna do it, what the process is gonna be, and then maybe we ask for a watering plan. And if they're not gonna water because of rain, they need to document how many inches of rain and by rain gauge in that specific location. Not at their place or near the school, some type of a water gauge. That's a rain gauge that's in that area to prove that they got enough water that negated the reasoning behind it. You guys don't agree? I think that's something we could do.
It's water.
And then the parking lot extension. If we can just get confirmation that the stormwater plan or discharge plan, the stormwater abatement, anything at all, anything related to the stormwater and where it dissipates into conservation's jurisdiction. If you can confirm that it's not happening, it doesn't happen, it's not gonna change any of the flow rates or anything at all. There's no recharge issues, and it's kind of out of our jurisdiction. We all agree with that, and they got paid. Is that something that you can kind of attest to?
Absolutely, we actually submitted a revised stormwater memo to kind of revise. the
Yeah.
Report that was previously submitted, I believe it was issued to you guys previously in emails and such. We did rerun the calculations with the additional impervious, there's only one basin that's affected by it.
Right.
The bigger one up at the top of the hill there. And the numbers show that we do not increase the peak flows, we're still below existing conditions as originally proposed. The recharge volumes previously proposed were sufficient enough to cover.
Yeah, they always have a factor in there.
Yeah, it's all factored in, all the recharge calculations were done, all the, TSS water quality treatment calculations were redone to ensure that we still made it for the additional impervious. So, everything is good to go. We're not moving any drainage structures around, those are all staying in place. The other thing we're doing is slightly reshaping one of the fire retention basins that's on the island, but the volume remains the same.
Okay, everybody agree that's really
Yeah.
out of our purview, out of our jurisdiction. We talked a little faster, so she must have been up there. Good job. I can see you go to town on that. Thank you. I mean, you guys all agree with that, right? So
Yeah.
we don't have to vote on anything, right, per se?
I just have one question going back to the grass. Anybody know what the seed mixture is of the grass?
New England wetlands. It's the same one we always use. New England wetlands.
Yeah, but what's in it?
It's certified by the state. I don't know
Okay.
exactly, but I can
I
pull
can
it.
send you that, look at this email or maybe.
It's the same one we used with Bucky at the courthouse.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, I just know that's always our baseline.
yeah,
But yeah, that's pretty standard. It's right. You get it in, the place in Amherst. That's really about it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's it. See.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So do we have to vote on that? On the parking lot extension, because really it's not our jurisdiction, so, okay, we're pretty good there. I know, Wayne's great with communication. And
It goes back to the wetlands verification.
I'm seeing,
There was a colony of invasive species. in there that we're supposed to, control. That area was a staging area for the contractor. Plus, when they were digging in there, they found a dump and they,
I don't know.
a bunch of organics material that was all hauled out. We'll give them the
We
time.
have some issues, start some annual.
So like, the question is, we need to take a lot for that. I'm not gonna.
I'd say I'd monitor it for a little. Yeah.
You know, the infiltration basin, I can tell you the guys that we took out of there, but I mean, let's take care of how.
Yeah, I guess it skips that data and just keep an eye on it, but
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I mean, unless somebody is aware of it, that's good. You're good with that. I mean, that's standard.
Most of that, I don't even know what it is.
Oh, this guy will, right?
There's no grasses there.
Maybe it's the wrong.
One, it's foul bluegrass. Never heard of it.
That's from the original.
Yeah,
Some,
I mean, this is what's going on here.
Hold on a second.
I mean, it's a good mix to use around here. If that's in some kind of verbiage that means the same thing, I'm unaware of it.
This is what, if this is the same one, this is what I use at work too. It's pretty much across the state. Almost uses, yeah. I'm just making sure. This is in the spec, so I really. I don't see, unless you know exactly which one it is. I see hydro seed mulch, I see seed, lawn seed, I see semi-shade seed mix, I see no mow seed mix, is that it? Or low grow, which usually it says New England seed wetlands mix. You know which one
This
this
is
is?
the one that was just approved.
Yeah, it was just recently approved. It was for a huge supplemental. I can't remember which one it was.
Or could it be recently approved if they just did it?
There was a mix previously approved.
There was a what?
There was a mix up with, one that was previously approved by Stimson, and then, the correct one got reissued. The correct one got issued initially, and then, a substitute one got issued to Stimson approved it. And then, it was determined that one was not good enough, was not the proper one, so it got submitted again back to Custom O'Neill to approve. So it was just recently approved by Custom O'Neill.
Yeah, I searched under seed, I don't see.
that was the original submission. So I don't know what the subsequent one is.
If I can get onto the internet, I can probably find it if you guys like it.
Wait, can I just
Yeah, go on.
clarifying question? Is there a concern that there are invasives in that area where the contractors were?
It was notated in the order of conditions.
Yeah, I remember that, to monitor.
There's a small little colony, but that's what they had there. That was the staging area for the Morris Brothers, plus when they decided to build that area out, they found organics from Pearl Street, plus it was, dumped from,
Yeah.
from way back when.
Yeah, I remember there's no contract.
Thank you.
What number is it?
329-200-009.
$329.200.
329-200-009.
I'm not showing it. $329.200-009, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't come from us.
Cause that's one, a lot of sedges, some rushes,
Swampweed,
mostly sedge. That's what, can I just see how it compares to this? No, it's not the same. That's not the same. So, fuck sedge, lung sedge, blunt broom sedge, foul bluegrass, blue vervain, fringe sedge, oh yes, long milkweed, green bulrush, soft brush, ironweed, walnuts, blue flag, and these are all good. Spotted Joe Pivy, these are all wetland plants.
the planters are grass seed.
Oh, those are both plants and sedges.
But we're talking about the wetlands, the seed.
That is the wetland mix.
That's pretty much what you have said. A lot of that's on that.
Yeah, it actually is, actually. No, it's just in different order.
So. I just came.
It's not just grass, I mean, this wetland, it's
See what you said?
spotted Joe
No, I'm
Pivy, that's always grows along streams, the sedges.
Yeah, I got it here. I'm looking, I was looking at this, it was recently approved.
Swamps.
Is that a good slope?
Huh?
Is that a good slope?
I don't know.
The number of here on top.
Oh, that's gonna be, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close
Yeah.
to the peanut farm. It's similar.
Yeah, well,
That's
Yeah,
basically everywhere.
you know, like, the
but this is
basic,
hydro, this one is hydro.
there's a lot of grass in that, same thing.
And this one says, it says received on 2021.
Yeah, because that was the original single back in 2021 that had all the seed mix in with it.
Right?
And we included the wetland seed mix, which was where the confusion was, confusion line, because that should have gone to wetland and that's different.
But usually don't hydro seed wetland seed.
It was all packaged together. We should have one from me recently, in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. 9 pages. I guess it doesn't matter, I'm just disappointed that, I mean, you don't submit. An alternate on the Williams wetlands next, because you buy, everyone has to buy it at the same place.
See, that's that, no one did.
Yes, no, I understand it. That's the one there.
Right, on those.
That one
Yeah,
is-
could be, yeah.
Yeah,
This was it, creeping rye, I read festive, is gonna be it.
Fox Sage one.
No, it's not the same one. Yeah, I got it here now.
This original submission, which is very similar, does say hydro seed,
I just have never hydro seed.
mechanical spreader or spread by hand.
Yeah, and hydro seed, is that a mechanical spreader? I think a mechanical spreader is a thrower, like.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right. I didn't know, I mean,
I
that's
see it.
completely different process.
I don't know how you hydro seed a blue flag, but maybe you do.
Now, that's, I don't see how they can hide receipt on that.
That's what I mean, I'm not positive of that.
Well, that's, I mean, more to the point. Okay, well, that's more to the point where we need, what's it about?
I
I
just,
just thought it would be a good visual for
see,
whether they provided.
Okay, yeah, I saw it before, you saw that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I thought Dudley was gonna be.
appreciate that. So it doesn't, shouldn't be hydro seeded, it should be hand or mechanical, that's probably another problem I didn't take, because if I would mix it with something, or something was already in the truck. It doesn't have either, and they don't flush it out correctly, right, I mean.
yeah,
Guys, they put out, plus on you, they put out the directive. What you got, what we see.
Okay.
Um,
Pulling these, whatever they do, and then fix that top for them, so, you know.
Is that the one you sent, is it May when you sent that?
So,
May 23rd?
May 23rd, 24th, something.
Yeah, I saw it,
Yeah.
I did see it this morning, or this afternoon, sorry, yeah.
Got some done.
Yeah, I saw it, thank you. Appreciate it. So we're good on those. We'll get all set, thank you. Wayne, anything else in there?
Um. And things were good.
Okay.
There was nothing about confirming the elevation. Prove the elevation change because I'm the gym as well, so I don't know what they're asking.
I think that's the elevation of the parking areas, is that what we're?
From the originally approved set that was provided, the orchards agreed slightly to have done test pits out there.
Yeah.
To confirm groundwater, and when we found our groundwater, we realized we had to change the, grading slightly to make sure we had proper separation from groundwater.
Okay,
So those were plans that were originally provided to you guys,
Yep.
to you guys before the June 12th meeting,
okay,
and Eric went over those, I believe.
he did, yep, and we also talked about the, letting in, not seating around the, guardrails, right?
Yeah.
And we were all right with all that, we all agreed to that.
And that mix, that, weapons gets installed, I believe, at the bottom of all the detention basins as well.
Yep. Okay, I'm good then. You have anything else?
So they're gonna redo those slopes as well, and all those detention basins this fall.
Erosion controls.
Yeah, it's, they all need to stay in place until we're done, but I mean, if there are areas that you guys all agree, I agree, and that can come up, maybe we should take them up so they don't sit there forever. I mean, you guys agree, I mean, come on, what are your thoughts on that? It's up.
There's some areas, on the east side behind where the Hemlock Oval Playground is. Those areas need to be, the plan, they gave the plan as they walk through the erosion control.
Yeah,
And those areas should stay because they're gonna do serious.
yeah, modifications to the playground area,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Erosion and whatnot.
yeah, so if there's areas where they're done working. And everyone agrees that they're satisfactory and the growth is there, I would take it down, if you agree. It's not worth heating, because what happens, they never take it out.
Yeah.
When the walls, if they're gonna dissipate on their own, fine, but if there's netting on, then netting's not gonna disintegrate on its own and be absorbed, then that should be, I think everywhere else. That you're not doing, heavy construction and
Yeah,
repair.
the only one that's questionable is Hemlock Oval.
Yeah,
So
so,
they're doing huge construction there, so,
so leave that up and maintain it then.
yeah,
There's some
we
areas.
probably could do some replacement as well.
Okay,
Yeah, there's some areas of entrance. The contractor actually did issue a plan before I got here, but it was like an hour before I was leaving, so I didn't get a chance to really look at it. I can share it with the commission if they'd like. Oh, you did share it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows where they felt the, conditions were good to remove it, where slope fence was still okay, to leave in some areas that they knew they had to replace.
that's fine, I understand, yeah. Good with it. I mean, it's pretty standard, so.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, we're good.
Great.
Thanks, everybody. Yes?
So the, extension for the orders of conditions. You want to
You want to vote on?
vote?
Yeah. Vote, someone that can make a motion to vote to approve the standard order condition for the elementary school.
Okay, maybe.
Someone like to second that motion?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, we'll sign those. Thank you.
Yes, over the trash. Where it does come from.
So those copies.
I think it's picked up though, right? The trash. I thought I saw him here, someone picked up a bunch of trash that was noted.
Yeah, it was throughout the site. Obviously, the last time I was down there, I didn't go down to the EMS limits. I was above, so I don't know what's, the slopes at the bottom, where it's the walls, so which gently is where maybe entrance, so we took control.
They're mostly gas.
Still there?
I haven't been since our, Wayne and I's, sidewalk.
We picked up right after that.
Okay.
Okay, so.
You're talking about the drive in the left?
Huh?
When you drive in? On the
Oh,
left?
around the.
I just remember a pile on the left, but it looked like somebody had a pile that they picked up and just didn't get removed.
I can send them around again, so.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. I got it. I'll sign it.
You do the second approved wet mix,
Yeah. Yeah,
you got that one?
yeah, we got the rest of her.
Okay.
Commission has approved the elevation change, has plans and records. Yeah. Is there anything else the commission needs from us at the moment?
I don't believe so. Maybe just once they start doing that seeding and keeping an eye on what, making sure what you asked them to do in preparation to reseed. is
Yes,
done.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything starts rolling.
But the elevation of the elevation were kind of different than what's shown on the plans.
Yeah, so,
You saw that?
yeah,
And you're okay with that?
yes. I think this not means minimum. In reality, when, you know, the full picture of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you.
Next up.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I saw it. All right, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Other than the minutes, is there anything formal that the commission will be issuing in regards to
The
any
extensions.
extension, anything about the approval of the of everything we just discussed?
We can send out documentation once we get to the meeting minutes taken care of, then we can just send out, we can cut the meeting minutes into an email and send correspondence that
The
way.
contractor is very particular, he wants to make sure all the documents and every document, so they have to fill out.
Yes. Yeah, we'll send it through, then you can maybe put it through Procore in a middle process, that way everybody gets it in the record.
Yeah, you go ahead and send it to me, and I think everything will.
That'd be great. Easy. Yeah, no problem.
Awesome, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next on the agenda is to request for certificate of compliance for 314 Brookside Drive. This is continuance from June 12th. Got two different, DEPs associated with it, 0400 and 0393. We have an update on
Well, it was sent out originally to the original owner,
yeah,
and since they already sold it, the mail wouldn't go through. It's like four attempts for it to be delivered, and it was undeliverable, and I got it back like Friday. So I just sent a new addressing the new owner today,
okay.
so we'll see. What happens.
All right, so someone make a motion to approve a continuance to July 24th on the certificate of compliance for 314 Brookside Drive.
I'll make that motion.
Someone's a second. Both of you guys, which one? Pick one.
He's older than I am.
Why? Second.
All in favor? Aye. Continue to the 24th. Yeah, and then the COCC partial for 330 Brookside Drive. What do we have on that one?
I sent a compiled like file with a bunch of photos documenting the property.
Yeah.
There's nothing that were in the pictures that were within the buffer zone, the shelf. The little fire pit and whatnot was all
Outside,
outside of the buffer zone.
okay. So,
Can I just clarify something?
yeah,
I thought we were talking about their needs signage or something.
that's the first one,
Oh, okay, just want to make sure.
right?
314, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, because remember we had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did the transaction in the house and nobody knew anything about it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
It's a lot of Brookside drives right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. So what's the partial COC for? Or the partial, and yours, when this is the partial,
For which,
for 330 Brookside Drive.
says partial.
Yeah,
It's odd because I have, 330 Brookside Drive. I might have just made a mistake.
Well, it's a
330
full-
Brookside Drive only.
so it's a full certificate of, compliance.
Partial release of the whole, DEP number.
No, it can't be. It's only gonna be. There's only one lot associated with this, lot 57. Right,
Yes, there's one lot.
so. I guess, you can
What
over,
is their request for it?
but you went out there, everything's done, you confirm. That everything was done to our conditions. And everything was out of the buffer zone, everything was cleaned up, there's no issue there. Why didn't they get a partial or a certificate of compliance before this? That's not that, probably not that. old. But I wanna vote on this if it's a partial or it's full.
Well, my
Maybe you
notes
can
say-
partial.
And then what they requested is 330 Brookside Drive only.
You see, what is that you got there?
Uh,
You say it that. It's a partial certification, I hereby certify that only the following portions of work. Why would it be, why would it be a complete? We have the original file. You know, I mean, what is the partial, but it doesn't, it says,
I don't think
it is
it's.
hereby certified that only the following portions of work regulated by the above reference order conditions have been satisfied to complete the project area or work subject to the partial certification that they completed my release for this order of our 330 Brookside Drive only, so were there several involved? That doesn't make sense.
Well, so this is subdivision,
Yeah, 330 was?
yes. It's all part of that Wilder Brook. I printed this out for a reason.
What's this?
That's Stratton Park, that's different. It's another one that didn't go through.
What's the name of it? Didn't send it.
Don't forget that guy.
Yeah. I can't remember, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, that's not, not mighty. What it is.
I don't understand how it's,
Your concern is.
well, we're signing off on a partial, but how can there be a partial on 330, it's one address? Why would it be a partial? Do you understand, David, or anybody have anything? You don't want the full file for this? Can you go grab that?
Well,
The actual application for the cert and the original standard order of conditions that we would have asked. Do you have that?
We have to do this tonight.
I don't know if it's associated with a sale of a property or not. That's the only thing I'm gonna hold it up. Probably wouldn't be able to find it.
I'm not sure if
You'd have to
there's,
find a folder for this DEP number. Do you have that folder you can get?
possibly, yes.
So you can grab that and then we're gonna take that. 0070. Only, I mean, I wasn't on, you guys remember 330, it doesn't sound right. Okay, yeah, just see if you can find the folder,
No, if you think it through, it doesn't,
doesn't ring a bell with me.
no.
I mean, some of them do down here, but why would it be a partial on one address? Well, that's not, 330 is not the whole park.
No, no. I don't know, there's some miscommunication somewhere.
But then,
Are there other lots affiliated with this?
that's why I don't, that's why I'm like, it's gotta be what it is, why they want a partial, but it doesn't make sense why we have one address. No, I'm gonna Google my Gmail. I don't wanna hold a sale for somebody who can address easily.
Fast,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is, some information that I pulled, a while back when I was doing research on it. This is the order of conditions.
Is it?
That's the order of conditions. And I sent the check too.
It's a newer. Newer items.
This is. Says Clark Street. That intersection of Wilder Brook. That's-
I believe it's for the whole subdivision.
It wasn't
They have a
figured.
plot plan for the exact parcel. Except for the one that was shared with you guys.
Do we have a list of lots on there?
So their request.
Yeah, there we go. So this one here. This DEP file number is. Goes back to 1986. Public hearing was closed on July 1st, 1986. But it doesn't say the specific lot numbers on this. I don't see a lot number 70 associated with it. I just don't remember this. I Googled it, it came up with a bunch of other ones. Hold on a second, here's one. Just looking to see if the same DEP number comes up. Give me a second here. 225 Brookside Drive. Solid. Looking through old notes and stuff, but.
The information I found was very limited as well. I spent quite some time, even asked Chris for help for this stuff.
Promise, it looks like we're signing off on all of 330 Brookside Drive,
Yeah, it does.
right?
Yep.
When you look at this. It says 330 Brookside Drive only. But that doesn't mention 330 Brookside Drive anyway. What we could do is, you wanna look at this, doesn't really help us.
No,
Only thing we could do is, Sophie went out there and looked at that lot, maybe we sign, for the certificate of compliance for 330 Brookside Drive, and then note that lot,
The 57.
57.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's impartial, that's all in it.
Yeah. Everybody agree with that? And we've done partials there before because of the same situation, but for 330 doesn't ring a bell to me
It's,
specifically.
yeah,
You said down the corner.
yeah,
Is it across from where that?
yeah, it's close. Like the one next to it.
Okay.
So that whole little area was built at the same time.
Yeah, all right. So someone, I'm okay with it. You said it's all done, so I'm okay with that. Releasing a partial for 330 Brookside Drive specific to lot 57 only.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody in agreement?
Yeah.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve this, signatures and the approval for a COC partial for 330 Brookside Drive, lot 57 specifically.
I'll make that motion.
I'm at the second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Where's that take over? I put it back to you.
Yes. And second.
Let's just down there. So when we do this,
We know what the concern
just handwriting it right in there. Block 57 only. Okay. All right, and under new business, the community health, connection to Zero Tiffany Boulevard, site inspection and road control discussion. Yeah, I drove by, it looked okay, but I didn't go around back.
Did you have a chance to look at the images I sent?
Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any comments on that?
No, I got the same thing as you from the front, looks good.
Yeah,
The back would be the most.
that's where the area is,
A roadway of that, it's very steep
Yeah,
portion. I don't know what direction it would be, north or.
Maybe less. Or north.
but south, that's my direction.
The way you talked to them when you were out there, and did you make a recommendation to get it repaired?
I didn't meet with them, no. The first time they reached out, Lindsay and I went out there months ago, and they just wanted to take it out because of aesthetics. Even though the construction, they still had to do paving and everything, yeah, so we said, no, you should wait. You have to wait until construction's done and everything's established, in which it appears that there are certain parts that aren't established. And then there's some other, places that, you probably know the species, it's a very, I want to use the word medium plant, it's about that. Very long, skinny leaves. Kind of take.
That eliminates half of
It's-
it.
um,
What day did you send that picture? Oh,
I sent it before I left.
Is the concern that there's still erosion going on and they still want to take out the wattles or whatever?
Well, the walls are actually washed kind of away and from like I wanna call it like a mini landslide.
Yeah,
I'd like to see what it looks like
I
right
was gonna say,
Something like that.
now.
it sounds like it need to reinforce it, but.
I can't find pictures.
I remember seeing some erosion on it, so I mean, I think it needs to be addressed, especially now.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you have that here.
Yeah, and then I think I labeled like almost every picture of where it is and what's going on, what the picture is depicting.
Yeah. So I guess we sent notification out there that, you know, that site visit was conducted on this date and we're asking for them to do the repairs. Right, and then when they're done, have them call you and make sure that everything's been completed. I mean, you did a good job on this. I already know the areas that could be fixed, so maybe send this to them, go ahead. Conduct the site visit on this date. Please make sure that these areas have been addressed.
Okay, explain to me what's on the back of the building, a steep slope,
Yeah,
with walls that are kind of,
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
and anything else.
Looks like there's like goes from 995 to 956. Pretty, I mean, you can just see the lines on there.
Yeah.
It's,
That's steep,
It's
yeah.
very steep.
So what are they,
it's eroded. Yeah,
so either somebody's gonna have to tell them what to do.
well, I mean, I think they know because they actually had to maintain it during construction and now that it's almost done, we probably just let it fall, you know, fail. So I send this out, just say like these areas addressed, let me know when they're done, give them a timeline of 2 or 3 weeks and go from there.
And then we wait for things.
Yeah, once they come, yeah, we have to reestablish and just make sure while it's being reestablished and the grass is growing, it doesn't get washed out again.
Again, they should use the right seed mix,
But they probably did, they just didn't maintain it,
yeah.
or it never took.
With things like that, it's good to have some annual ryegrass, which will die the following year. Mixed in with some other like perennial ryegrass, fescue, and some of these other.
Gotta bind it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get some roots in to hold it. Well, they're gonna put some matting down while it's taking, right?
Something, hay, matting,
Yeah,
straw,
sure.
not hay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all right with that? We don't need straw, we want hay now.
Yeah.
Straw is obviously, we used to always use straw. correct?
Yeah, all the,
You all right with that? Okay. And then under else under new business is the open space recreation plan endorsement. There were some discrepancies on there that were on open, or am I wrong? You had said something about. Does it need to be discussed or not?
My discrepancy, my question to them was, the state has that land along Route 140 is being permanently protected. The city said it's not permanently protected. So you can't, so, and it was in the open space plan, it's permanently protected. If I'm not mistaken, because they use the state's overlay, so I was just pointing out like, what is it? So,
When was this last meeting?
and, well, a couple of times I think I pointed it out.
Yeah,
So basically,
I must have been there.
engineers, everybody uses the state overlay for what's considered permanently protected land. For years, including the last open space plan, the land along 140 was considered permanently protected land on that overlay. Now, that doesn't mean it is, I guess, but that's what they said,
Yeah,
and it's been up for controversy, or up for discussion whether it's permanently protected or not. So my only point was, don't put it in the plan, it's permanently protected if we don't know if it is or not.
is that,
But I don't know what's come of that since I
That was assumed it was.
think we all did, but
We've always voted this open space, it's always been that.
so maybe if you could, I mean, I'm okay with endorsing. The plan, if the clarification on if that area is protected or not, do we believe it is?
I believe, well, there's still, still has to go through a couple other committees too, that they're gonna be reviewing, and I think there's a plan to have like further discussion about it.
Okay, so why don't we hold off on sending on a vote, on this until we get clarification on that Route 140 corridor being protected. Let's revisit it again on the 24th. And if you could send out that last,
How does the state enter into this?
well, we use their
It's all that.
but we use their mapping, right?
That's my assumption. I'm not positive from the engineering point of view, but
Yeah,
you go into the state and there's a state overlay of permanently protected land across the state. You look at Gardner and it has a map of where the permanently protected land is, and it shows that as being permanently protected.
So both sides say protected. So what's the question?
well, that was the areas that the mayor had originally discussed about doing some work on it, or selling it, or leasing the land now.
Is that going anywhere? Anybody?
I think it's dead in the water, I think it didn't go through.
Good.
It didn't go through this time.
Right, so I think we need to get this clarified first before we send a letter of approval. That we endorse it. Just so it's clarification, I think it's more than fair asking.
Well, why do we have to wait? We can, okay, it, right?
We can endorse the plan that says permanently protected.
Well, I mean, it's been permanently protected a long time, and then somebody said it wasn't.
Yeah, but we can still
Well,
endorse the plan.
That's this side.
Or we want to endorse something with questions.
Well, I want to protect it.
I want to all agree. That's all the more reason why I think we wait for it.
People don't realize how destructive that's gonna be to that area.
But I think if we sign up on it without, this is our chance to get that specifically clarified.
Mhm.
That's the only reason why I'm saying no, but if you think otherwise, want to bet and speed. Yeah, like saying we're gonna sign something that we don't know is gonna happen yet. It's been that way in the open space plan for years, and we all agree it was permanently protected.
Right.
And then,
But the state's also agreeing with the open space.
yeah. I mean, we can vote on it now if you guys want to vote on endorsing it. Let me bring it up for a vote.
Yeah.
Well, before we do that, do you know if I haven't seen the final map in the plan, if it's been changed or not? I haven't seen a map for like over a month, but do you have any idea?
Well, when was the last time you looked at the draft?
It was like early June, I thought. Cause it hadn't gone to that public meeting yet.
Well, let me just be frank here. I'm not gonna vote on something I haven't seen the final documentation on.
Okay,
Yeah, okay, you guys,
Yeah.
you guys go to the meetings. We don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Do that.
It hasn't changed,
I haven't seen it.
though. Okay, yeah.
I mean, you vote on the committee, so I mean, we get our voices being heard there, but. I mean, for Dave and I, we don't know.
I would review it, take some time to really review the whole draft plan, if you haven't already.
We should get the final. Why would we endorse something that's draft?
Well, we already have the people like endorsing the,
I don't really care if someone else wants to endorse a draft, they can, but I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, is that considered the final plan?
What, is it marked final or is it marked draft?
for the most part, it's very, very close to being the final plan, yes. There's a couple of.
Yeah, that's the ones that's there in the committee. I'm not gonna, I personally not gonna endorse the draft.
The plan to make it final.
When is it due to be finalized? Do you guys know?
No.
I don't know.
That's based off of the endorsement letters, essentially.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Whoever the open, sorry guys, the open space committee should say, this is the final. And you guys can't even do it, why would we?
Open space. But Dave, so don't you want you're on
Yeah.
open space?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything recently about it.
Can we just table this until the 24th, and maybe by then we get something more solidified as
yes,
that law, that area protected and a final, if it's final draft, then it's a little different, but if it's just a draft and it hasn't been final and it's not 99.9%, how would you do that? Someone could take the draft back and change it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
Not that they would, but they could.
yeah, I said the same, right?
Yeah, let's hold off until the 24th, everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
Don't need to vote on holding on, so I'm in agreement with 99% of it from what I've seen over the years. But why, and the other thing is, it's dated 2022. Why wouldn't it be? typo?
No, it's the 2022 plan. Everything was planned out to 2022.
Or in 2023 now?
Yes, but the plan itself was created during the majority of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many years?
And
How
the
many
next
years?
one will be
Is it every 8 years?
It's supposed to be every 5, but
7.
7, it's at least
It's
7.
every 7 years.
Okay, so
Okay, so let's hold off for the next meeting. Is there any update on 170 Mill Street?
No. There's not.
Can you follow up and see if the state's gonna give additional notification on 170 Mill Street? Or is that the only correspondence they're gonna have with the applicant?
I missed the first part.
Is the state, dam committee, are they gonna follow up again? Ask for the information that's already late, or are we just sitting at a stalemate of nothing's gonna happen?
The letter.
And that's because of,
Um,
it's not in our hands. It's the-
exactly.
Can you just follow up with the state and ask if they've heard anything new? Maybe we don't know.
Sure, I did ask them to
I know you
update
did.
me,
I
but
know you did. Can you just
I
ask? them?
can't rely on, yeah, I can do that.
It's more than fair. I mean, it's in the state's hands and sending one email, in my mind, is not enough.
No,
these days.
that dam doesn't look too healthy.
No, look at the rain.
Oh,
that they
right,
get.
no.
All right, just let us know. Anybody have any other new business, David?
no.
And you had sent an email about another class, or did you already take it? Or am I like, I'm like weeks behind. There was a some,
It's
Just one comment for you.
Yeah, it's just the, meeting for MRPC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure,
it's just a lunch and learn
Take a
thing.
while.
It's free.
okay. Doing anything new? No.
Oh,
I just a comment, I did see the Bailey Brook, brand new, basketball court looks amazing, as is the playground,
right.
just surrounded by weed.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what the
so-
space will be, but
A little addition, if you're all set.
No, I have one more thing, but go ahead.
Okay, a little addition to that, I'm working on creating like a little flyer or something to get some volunteers for trail maintenance in Gardner, because apparently there is none. Nobody maintains the trails.
Oh, nobody maintained any of the trails in our city.
No.
So we can't just say that was the
They're all
people.
being
No, I
overtaken by
know,
money.
we don't have.
Especially the ones on the radio station.
Yeah. That bike trail between the rink, the radio station,
Terrible.
yeah, they finally mowed it, so that's,
Yeah, the whole left side, mine's a
the
taken off.
140 bike trail. It's getting bad,
Yeah,
especially after this winter, the damage to the trees is awful. And my question is, why can't we use the prisoners like we used to? What happened to that program?
I think it's someplace we, someone needs to request it.
So that's gotta be done. And as far as the new Park Street Park, it looks pretty good.
there's a lot of picnic tables.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I drive through it every day. This grass is taken,
Good.
they hydroseeded that with regular grass, and that truck they use is huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Now the tank's oversized. They can hold a lot more mix.
Yeah.
They don't go back every time. Well, the only other thing I had for new business was, I know there's been a lot of talk of your workload. And the percentage between, conservation agent and planning board agent. And how do you feel that's going percentage wise of your time? Are you feeling you're too stretched thin on one side or the other?
I'm feeling stretched thin in all areas.
Yeah.
usually feel,
I
that's all
think,
right.
Well, it's all right. That's what we're asking.
from going to the conference, and actually a lot of agents have like assistants and they actually start as assistants and then move up to the actual planning agent. And yeah, I guess it's not too common in some parts of Mass for them to, take on every single hat.
And what percentage of your duties are conservation and what percentage are planning right now? 50/50
It does fluctuate
on average?
depending on whether there's like grants or parks to tie up and finish.
On a monthly basis, is it 70/30 conservation or is it?
I think for the most part, I think the planning part takes over a little bit more to a degree, especially with the open space plan, jumping into that takes up a lot of my time,
Okay,
so,
Were you told you had to do this? And,
can you specify?
or were you told you had to take on that duty, or did you volunteer?
Oh, it was directed,
it's part of the job description for the role.
planning and,
Was that in the past too?
Yes, but I think it's, the percentages have really swayed recently.
But you know, with all the paperwork that flies around in these committees, that's a lot of work. Period. And if you're stressed out, you should tell us about it, or tell somebody about it that will listen. Because it's way too much.
I mean, is it 70% planning and 30% commission right now?
maybe not 70,
60-40?
probably
60% planning and 40% agent
yeah.
or conservation, okay.
And how much do you do at home?
Not too much.
Not too much? Well, that's
Unless
given
it's like
away, but
training.
it shouldn't be.
Unless there's
Yeah.
like training that I really want to take.
Yeah,
it's the only
yeah.
time
Oh,
I
that's
do it.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep that discussion going, so it's in the minutes so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about what that is and what workload isn't getting done from the conservation side, so we won't go forever. It's not a point fingers on him or anybody, it's dual role, which we've always had. And it does sway, I remember Jeff saying that, you know, some of the planning side would get dropped because he's busy on our side and stuff. So we just gotta clarify what percentage it should be, get it back to that is, and whatever committee's paying the most, obviously.
I think also that more help is needed.
I think
That
everybody-
would solve the problem.
But it's funds that to pay for the more help, so it's a balancing act for the commissions.
They can get some money.
Yeah, honestly, my mind is blown at how some people can, like, just manage all, like, I don't know, was it Jeff that was part-time for a while? Somebody was part-time, and I just can't imagine doing this part-time, because I leave the day,
It was
like,
part-time.
Yeah, I know that ebbs and flows, and as the city's growing and changing, and we're getting caught up. I think it, you know, that does come and go, when it happens, you know, some years it's ongoing. And the workload's substantial, and other years there's not a lot going on, and this year it just seems like we've been pretty busy with the Floods landfill and, you know, a lot of certificates of compliance that add up, and the school and.
A lot of things are happening.
Go ahead.
I mean, do you feel you have adequate time to deal with conservation?
well, let me put it this way, when I leave on a Friday, I always have a million things to still catch up on. I feel like I'm always going, like, backtracking to catch up emails and.
What would you rather do? Do you have a choice? Conservation or planning?
Probably conservation.
Well, the problem is, it's the funds are shared, but I don't recall exact percentages, but it's always been shared, well, that's
Yeah,
a good valid question.
yeah.
I'm just trying to ensure that, I mean, please let us know if you feel you can't reach all the conservation issues. It'd be good for us to know that.
Yeah, and it might be that we can't support it either, it just might be the workload associated with it is never gonna level out, but it does ebb and flow a lot. So, and then that way at least we can communicate with Trevor. We know we've had a call already, we can do another one to say, hey, we gotta balance the workload a little bit, to the percentage and who's funding what. And I'm sure Trevor's more than amenable, we've had calls, so. I mean, he might not realize either, he doesn't know what's everything that's going on in conservation. I know he's more involved in the planning side of things, that's more of his side, his role.
You know, your biggest stress is working with 3 bureau events.
Okay.
I move we end the meeting.
I second that, any, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
See my